Hello guys, and welcome to a brand new video from me, Pickles Parker Reviews. Now today I'm doing another rants and discussions video, and I'm kind of doing a similar video to something I did a few months ago. Now a few months ago I did a video on why I can't get hyped for Doctor Who Series 11, and basically in that video I detailed all of the marketing campaign for Series 11 and why I just couldn't get hyped for it, as well as a load of additional reasons, which I explained why I was cautiously optimistic for it. And I thought there were a couple of other movies where I feel the same way. So today I'm going to do another video under the title Why I Can't Get Hyped, and this is for Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel was a film that I've never really been hyped for. I'm not the most familiar with the character. It would have been much better if they introduced Captain Marvel in another film, similar to what they did with Black Panther and Spider-Man, then have the movie rather than an origin story. I just thought that would have worked so much better, because especially with this movie coming just one film before Endgame, I just don't really care. Where it almost feels like I'm only watching this movie just so we can get to Endgame. I just want Endgame. I couldn't really care less for this film, and I think some of the trailers, they've been okay, but they haven't been exceptional. Captain Marvel as a character doesn't seem too groundbreaking really. The skill set isn't too amazing, just seems a bit similar to Thor. Backstory isn't exactly anything new. The world doesn't feel anything new apart from it's set in the 90s. And the most interesting thing from the trailers for me is just seeing Nick Fury as a younger person. That is literally the main thing I'm excited for Captain Marvel. A film that is called Captain Marvel. I'm not actually excited about seeing the character herself. This film, I was kind of not really hyped for, but I was kind of enthusiastic still going in. Like, I'm not as hyped as I am for other Marvel movies, but it's a Marvel movie. They've got a great track record, so yeah, I'll go see this. Hopefully they can pull something out of the bag. And something that I've recently discovered is Brie Larson, who plays Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. And I like Brie Larson. I've seen her in a few films. Kong Skull Island and 21 Jump Street are the two that immediately pop into my head, but I'm sure I've seen her in a couple of other things as well. I think she's a good actress, but I thought she was great casting for Captain Marvel. But something I recently discovered is kind of how she is in interviews and promoting this film in particular, and some of the decisions she's made. And this is probably common knowledge for a fair few people, but the reason I haven't brought this up is I actually only discovered this a couple of days ago. I didn't know this when the first trailer came out or anything, so that's why I haven't ever brought it up before. But Brie Larson seems to be a symbol for equality. I say that in inverted commas, because she seems to be one of those celebrities that's all for equality and equality in Hollywood, but also seems to be one of these people that doesn't really understand the meaning of equality. Equality means, equal for everybody, whereas what Brie Larson's doing is basically singling out a group of people and basically saying, if you're a white male, you can't do this or you can't do that. And that's not really equality. I really don't like when people do this. And I think it wasn't an interview for Captain Marvel, but it was an interview I seen for her for A Wrinkle in Time. And I haven't seen A Wrinkle in Time, and I don't plan on it. I thought it looked pretty bad from the trailers, and I'm aware that the film didn't do that great financially. However, Brie Larson said that basically that she doesn't think it's right for a 40-year-old white man to review this film. It wasn't made for him. And I was just like, well, what does that really even mean? Because basically what you're saying is, despite the fact that films are made for everyone, this film isn't aimed at you, therefore you shouldn't review it. I mean, that's just clear sexism and racism. And the reason it's not picked up on is because it's against the people that would usually use racism against the other type of people. For example, it's on the other side, therefore no one really picks up on it. And I'm not saying that racism's fine on the other side, but I think when you're trying to, be a symbol of equality, you actually need to embrace what equality is all about, rather than basically being racist, but in the opposite direction to what generally is racist and racial attacks are generally aimed at black people, ethnic minorities, and sexism is generally aimed at females. However, what you find is a lot of people using racism and particularly sexism, and it's never picked up on because it's done the opposite way. And I just don't really know why Brie Larson was doing that. It really made me have a sour taste in my mouth, because I was like, well, that's just clear racism and sexism, isn't it? Because films should be made for everyone. Yes, there are always certain demographics for films, but by the look of A Wrinkle in Time, it didn't exactly, appear like the film that 40-year-old white men could not enjoy. For example, if someone was to come out and say, oh yeah, a black female shouldn't be reviewing this film because this film clearly isn't aimed at her, then that would be clearly deemed as sexism and racism, and so it should, because it is. But what I'm saying is you shouldn't be able to get away with it the other way, and I just thought that was a real lack of understanding for the word equality from Brie Larson. And she's been doing it again in terms of Captain Marvel, basically, saying that she's only letting a certain number of people enter reviews, or not enter reviews, but she was being interviewed and she only wanted like a certain type of person interviewing her. And I may have that wrong. It may either be an interview or a reviewer or something like that. But it was something like singling out this certain group of people in the name of equality. And for me, I just don't feel that's right. I feel she's giving a lot of bad press for the film. And if you look at, actually, there's been bad reviews and people are saying, oh, it's just sexism. And a fair bit may be attributed to that, because obviously, just because sexism is sometimes used in the wrong way to be a get out of jail free card or to be a criticism free card, sexism does exist, so it may be a part of that. But also I think people just don't like Brie Larson's antics, and I generally feel that if the film does bad, it'll be purely by, at least Brie Larson herself, I imagine, will be put down to sexism. She'll say it's sexist, it's the straight white males who are doing this, when realistically, whether it is or whether it isn't, you shouldn't just go in on a certain demographic and just say it's you, because that's completely wrong. To me, it feels like us as a society, we're actually moving back, because I thought we were moving towards more equality, but it seems now we're just going backwards, where only a certain group of people can do this and this and this. Yeah, it's on the other side, and ultimately I just feel equality is a word that's used very loosely by some people, when really equality seems to be the last thing they really want to have and spread the message of. And I just feel Brie Larson is going about things completely the wrong way. If she has a new agenda, sure, but some of the things she's saying is just completely racist and sexist, but to the other way, so no one says anything about it. So really, she shouldn't be able to say that, because if someone said it the other way around, that wouldn't be allowed. I'm not saying if someone said it the other way around, that should be allowed, but what I'm saying is she just shouldn't be able to say it. And B, it's just bad press for Disney. Sure, she could say this about something else, I don't care, but to, kind of put this agenda on this film, then that's just not really good, and I can't imagine Disney is that happy about it. But maybe they are, I don't know. But I just feel that if this film does bad, it will be attributed to sexism. And I think that the whole idea of this being the first female superhero film in the MCU is really been just made a great deal of too much. Because it's not even the first, female superhero-led movie. And the first good one was Wonder Woman. That was great, but I can't remember in the marketing, but I don't think there was really a great, emphasis on the fact it was a woman, mainly because everyone knows Wonder Woman, so they go see it anyway. Whereas with this, no one, the casual audience, the casual average Joe, isn't going to know Captain Marvel. So therefore, they feel like they're trying to, at least the marketing team and Brie Larson, seems like they're trying to really like, oh, this is, you know, the diverse equality movie you wanted. I'm just kind of thinking, well, this isn't really relevant to this movie specifically, and I almost feel that I'm going into this film with a negative attitude because of what certain people, Brie Larson, has been saying behind the scenes in the lead up to this movie, and she's not really going about it the right way. And I'm not saying she's a bad actress, I'm sure she will be great as Captain Marvel, but just me not really liking some of the things that Brie Larson's been doing and saying will make me go with a negative attitude for Captain Marvel. And I wasn't really the most hyped beforehand. I think the trailers have been okay, but for the great trailers and the great, you know, movies we've been getting from Marvel recently, this just doesn't really interest me as much as the others. I'm obviously going to go see it anyway, but I wasn't that much hyped beforehand, and I'm sure most people will already know all this stuff that Brie Larson's doing. She's been doing it for ages now, but I only found out recently, so I decided to talk about it, and that's kind of why I'm not the most enthusiastic about going to see Captain Marvel as I want to be. Obviously, it does feel a bit like a stumbling block in the road. I just want to get, I just want to get through it and then go to Endgame. So it almost feels a bit like that. Black Panther felt like that just a little bit, but the difference is with Black Panther is the trailers were great. It had a very distinct feel that we didn't see before. Black Panther had already been established, and that gained hype for this movie. This Captain Marvel hasn't been established. The feel and what we see in the trailer isn't exactly new stuff, and for me, I just wouldn't really be that bothered if I didn't see the movie purely based on the trailers, and Brie Larson saying the stuff hasn't exactly made it any better. So therefore, I'm still going to see Captain Marvel, but I'm just not that hyped for it. And if someone was to say, oh, are you hyped for Captain Marvel? I'd probably say, not really. Compared to other stuff, I have to be honest, I'm not. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously it's not as in-depth and it's not as ranty or not like as some other videos maybe, like my Doctor Who one was about why I can't get hyped. And there is another film that I do plan to do, why I can't get hyped, for episode 9, and I imagine that'll be a lot more ranty, whereas this I was just kind of like, you know, I wasn't that hyped to begin with, so therefore this coming out has kind of just made me go, oh, really? But yeah, I just felt I needed to talk about this, just to say, you know, a lot of people are excited for Captain Marvel, but I just feel like I'm not really that excited going into it. But I also must say a big thank you for the kind of, the reception that my Star Wars video, the rapid release schedule one that I did out in the snow, has gotten. It's got a lot more views than my average video does, and I even got an Instagram direct message, which I've never got happen before, with people, you know, complimenting me on the video and giving some tips on how to improve, which was just great. So I'm really glad that people seem to have enjoyed this video, and I hope to make more videos in the style of that in the future. But yes, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, drop some, and hit that notification bell to stay notified for all my latest videos. And I will be doing more rants and discussions in the future, including why I can't get hyped for Star Wars Episode 9, so stay tuned for that. But thank you guys for watching, and of course, a goodbye.